The automatic modes work really well. However, if you want to take things a step further, you need to be aware of the 4 variables. These are exposure, film speed, shutter speed, and aperture. Aperture is how large the iris is on the camera. A smaller number means a larger opening, which in turn means more light hitting the film or sensor. The units are measured in stops. Moving down 1 stop lets half as much light in than the previous stop. Aperture also affects the depth of field, so a higher aperture or smaller opening will keep more of the image in focus. Shutter speed is the length of time the shutter stays open when taking a picture. The Canon EOS DSLRs vary between 30 seconds and 4,000th of a second, although there is an option to keep the shutter open when the shutter button is pressed. To achieve a sharp, quick-moving image, we need a shorter shutter speed. However, this depends on the types of image we want to capture. We can capture creative long exposure pictures with particular effect using longer exposure times. Film speed is how sensitive a film is to light, or in the case of a DSLR, how sensitive the sensor is to light. Usually measured in ISO, an ISO 100 film or setting is slower to react than an ISO 400 film or setting. Main settings in DSLRs are 200, 400, 800 and 1600. An ISO 200 film or setting needs half as much time to expose as an ISO 100 film or setting. The higher the ISO, the more grain will be captured, so for portraits, try and use the lowest ISO possible and use plenty of lighting. Many DSLRs have exposure compensation. This enables us to increase or decrease the level of exposure. This is usually measured in a fraction of a stop, very often halves, thirds or quarters. This is also available for the flash, so that the intensity of the flash can be increased or decreased. Thanks for watching. Watch our individual camera guides in order to learn the individual controls in order to put some of this into practice.